Released just a couple of months ago, Heartbreak High has managed to rise on Netflix's popularity charts. That's why they renewed it for a second season just 1 month after the premiere date, September 14th, 2022. So, what can we expect from Season 2? As you may already know, the show is a reboot of the Australian TV series of the same name. That one aired on Network 10 way back in 1994. That was almost 30 years ago, and Netflix Australia is revisiting the past with a modern twist. Namely, we are going to see how the students and teachers of Hartley High will navigate the racial tensions of the modern world, while still managing high school romances and all sorts of problems only teenagers are facing. And if you thought sex education was explicit, this one will make that show look like a PG movie. When talking about the show, creator Hannah Carroll Chapman and the actors said that this is a show made in Australia for Australian high schoolers. While they emphasized that they are talking about problems the Australian teenagers are facing, and they're using words that you will only find in Aussie land, it's made for a worldwide audience. On the road to crossing the borders in terms of viewership, Heartbreak High experienced a few setbacks. As we've said, the reliance on Australian slang and culture made the show predominantly to the audience at home. But that was just one of the reasons. There was also the fact that the reps for the show were actively discouraging coverage. Netflix warned them the show could take off immediately after premiering on Netflix, but they never expected something like this to happen. And you won't believe what helped it reach international fame. Go on, yes! If you said TikTok, then you would be right. Videos of the show on the platform gained a jaw-dropping 12.5 billion views, and that drove more and more eyeballs to Netflix. This wasn't the first time TikTok fans revived a show. For example, the same thing happened with Purple Hearts and Ginny and Georgia. Shortly after the premiere on October 2nd, the show was officially renewed by Netflix Australia for a second season, and the Daily Telegraph in Australia was the first one to smash that like button, just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, they were the first ones to share the news. The official Netflix press release, published on October 19th, 2022, read, quote, "School is officially back in session, as Netflix has announced Heartbreak High will return for Season 2. Produced by Fremantle Australia and Newbie, Season 2 of Heartbreak High will see the talented cast and creators reassemble in Sydney, Gadigal, Darug, Dharawal, and Ku-ring-gai lands, Australia, for pre-production and filming." From the figures in Flix Patrol, you can see that the show had a hard time reaching the #1 spot on Netflix domestically. It was in the top 5 most viewed shows on Netflix for a few days, and then it shot to the #1 spot on September 21st and 22nd. After that, the trend evened off. Globally, the show didn't make it to Netflix's top 10 list, but that was only the beginning. As soon as people started sharing clips from the show on TikTok, the show rose in popularity and soared through the charts. Netflix featured it in their top 10 list, which immediately gave us hope there would be a second season. And we were right. From September 18th to October 9th, a time span of only 3 weeks, the show managed to get 42.61 million hours in the entire world. TelevisionStats.com paints us a different picture of the show's viewership, namely because they focus on more traditional online sources like Google Trends, Twitter, Reddit, and Wikipedia. The chart looked something like this. This is why the show reached the 28th spot as the most in-demand show. Producer Carly Heaton has this to say about the critical success of the show. Quote, "Had to step away from the internet for a few days because there was just so much coming in, particularly locally. But it's all been phenomenal. We had a great critical response, which we were really happy about. But we're not that surprised. We looked at the 1994 Australian TV show by the same name, and we learned that one ran for 5 years, from 1994 until 1999. So if this one is anything like the one it's modeled after, we think 42 million watch hours are an indication of this, then the 2022 Heartbreak High is going to be on Netflix for a long time. So what should we be expecting in Season 2 of Heartbreak High? Well, after the incest map was published on the school wall, most of the students from the school had to attend a sexual literacy tutorial. And we all know how that turned out. Don't even get us started on the acronym SLT. All of the problems this one map caused are nothing compared to the love dilemmas and relationship problems the teens are facing. In Season 1, we got to see the heated fights between Harper and Amory. They were at each other's throats after that seeming tragedy at the music festival they attended. They eventually made up and are now BFFs again. But if we're being honest, we're going to miss all of those searing insults and burning comebacks. As they go forth in Season 2, we think that they will smash that subscribe button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. Oh no, but in all seriousness, we think they will band together to take down Chook. You know, the sleazy guy. We've seen them smash and burn his car, but there's probably going to be more to come in Season 2, since it's his fault Harper almost got sexually assaulted. But it's not like he's going to sit there and wait for them to attack again. He is getting ready. He'll probably be launching a counterattack in Season 2, which tells us Harper and Amory better be careful and keep their guard up, which we don't think will be a problem thanks to their circle of friends who are ready to attack at the drop of a hat. Speaking of Amory, we knew that she and Malika ended their first season romance with a platonic note, but something tells us that this is not how things will end between these two. And how can we all forget about the coolest character of them all, Darren? He is a whole mood in one character, and we love how they paired him with Cash, a guy that looks rough on the outside, but has a soft and lovable inside that just makes you want to hug him and hold him there. We have to admit, ever since we saw them working at the same fast food joint, we knew he would be the perfect match for Darren. We know they experienced a few bumps in their journey, but the fact that Cash came around and confessed his love for Darren shows us he is dedicated to the relationship. Too bad the cops had to come and drag him away just as he was doing so. He was arrested for taking part in the abduction of Harper, but that's what the cops know. We know that he was there to help Harper escape. In Season 2, we think the cops will realize he is innocent as far as the abduction goes and let him go, at which point they can resume their relationship with Darren. We also know that the show will be super cool and super hot. We know that they will resume their relationship, hopefully with fewer problems. And if we are to believe actor Will McDonald, he says that the second season will give us more fresh and new Australian stories that no one has ever told before on TV. Plus, we'll probably get to see characters that we've never seen before. Speaking of characters, we think that Asher Yasminchak, Chloe Hayden, Thomas Weatherall, Aisha Madden, John Huston, James Majuz, Will McDonald, and many more will reprise their roles in the second season. Oh, and don't even think about cutting Maggie Dents from the show. She's a riot, and we love her. And the cast absolutely adores her, based especially on all of the bloopers we've seen. Check out these videos next.